Please bless them with their finances, with their relationships, with their health, with their minds, with their spirits. And thank you for this day. And when we eat lunch, please remove the calories. Amen.
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 All right, let's do this.
And cheers to that.
Welcome to the Caliversary Show! I am so excited to finally be giving birth to my baby that I have been talking about for years and years and years and years. So thank you for being patient. I know I've teased this for the longest time, but I feel like now is the perfect time to do this. I believe that you're distracting me. It's okay though. I believe that God allowed me to have this delay for a particular reason, and especially right now when the world is at such a divide, I want to talk about the good news, and I want to share with you my personal story, and I want to be part of this healing process in trying to make this world somewhat of a better place. If I can do that in any way, shape, or form, that really makes me happy and makes my soul happy. So, without further ado, I just want to jump right into it. My name is Erica. I don't even know if I introduced myself, but thank you for subscribing and liking my YouTube. And I think for me, this is just my story. This is my opinion. I can only tell it from my perspective, but instead of hearing my story and thinking, oh, that's inspiring, I really want you to be inspired to take action yourself. I want you to hear my story, but more importantly, I really want you to pay attention to the stuff in between. So let me rewind. Let me draw you a little timeline. 2016, I was not happy in my life. I would say even maybe a couple of years before that. So I graduated from school. I'm from upstate New York, and I went to college in Manhattan. I graduated in 2011 with a bachelor's degree in communication arts. After I graduated from Marymount, Manhattan in the city, I moved back upstate, moved back home, and my very, very first job out of college with a bachelor's degree was a waitress, not even a waitress, my bad, a hostess at Red Lobster eating mad biscuits. That's why she's thicker than a Snicker now. And after that, I was working for a newspaper. I don't even know if you know what that is still today, but I ended up working for a newspaper. I was living at home. I wasn't happy. I can recall many times when I would just be driving to work crying because I felt so unhappy, unfulfilled, just seasonal depression, if you know what upstate New York weather is like in the winter. So I knew that I had more life to live. I knew I was meant to do more than pay bills and lose weight. And I had this hunger. I knew that I had this purpose, but I just didn't know what that purpose was at the time. So low key, I started to pray. And even though I grew up in the Catholic religion, it was never really at the forefront of my life. So it always felt like it was more of a chore, if you will, to go to Sunday Mass rather than something that I enjoyed doing. So I began to pray, even though I didn't really know what I was praying for. I just set out in my heart to talk to God, to direct me where to go, how to maneuver through this next season that I was yearning for. So 2016 came around, and one of my friends that I went to college with, she had moved to Los Angeles. So this is where the story gets good. So my friend moves to Los Angeles. I come out to visit her for the very first time ever coming to the West Coast, California, and I immediately fell in love. I was like, this is so beautiful. The weather is so nice. There's palm trees everywhere. Didn't realize the traffic was such a hassle at the time. But anyway, so it gets to my last day of the vacation, and I feel that life is always speaking to us in whispers, guiding us to our next right step. And I had this occur on the last day of my vacation when I met this girl. So we went to Malibu Wine Safari, and I met this girl whose name is also Erica. And you'll eventually get to meet Erica as well, so she can tell her side of the story and how we met and how all of that transpired. But it was an immediate connection. So we're on Malibu Wine Safari. I don't know if you've ever been, but if not, you have to go, especially if you love wine and love animals, because that's what this place is all about. So anyway, I'm sitting on Erica all the way in the back seat of the safari Jeep, going through Malibu Wine Safari, and we start talking. It was like we had known each other for decades. And she's telling me about relationships and religion and friends and, all this good stuff. So she tells me about this Christian church that she attended called Crossroads in Corona. And in this immediate moment, I felt conviction, and I also heard God for the very first time so clear say, go to this church and grow a relationship with me, basically. But the only problem was I was flying back home the next day. So I fly home. I'm not going to tell you what I did in between that. That's for another story. And I fly home the next day, and I tell my mom about this wild epiphany that I had while I was in California, and on the last day of vacation, I met this girl, and I think I have to move to California. And aware of my hunger to grow spiritually, personally, professionally, my mom was very supportive. She always, she was saying, I wish that I had someone when I was 27 that told me to spread my wings and fly. So she was very supportive. My crazy Italian family, on the other hand, was a different story. But here's the thing, I didn't need anyone's approval. This was between me and my creator. I didn't need their approval. I didn't need them to understand, because you see, when you are obedient and taking this leap of faith and stepping out on a leap of faith, it takes courage and it takes strength, and it might not make sense to people and they might not really get it, if you will, but they don't need to. You don't need to explain the story. You just have to show. You have to show your story, and that's what I'm here doing. So I set out with absolutely no plans, no expectations, because when you make a plan, God laughs. So what I did was give myself a personal goal to move across the country in 6 months. So here we go. I'm working full-time at the newspaper. This is summer of 2016. This is between March and September I set out. I picked up a part-time job at a Bed Bath & Beyond, worked my little booty off, because my mom's a single mom, and even though she supported me, she was like, hey, look, you want to make this dream come true? By all means, but I can't support you financially, so I had to make this happen for me. So the whole summer of 2016, I sacrificed any sort of social life, which was fine because I had this dream that I needed to achieve. So I worked all day, every night, the whole summer. Come September, I had $5,000 to my name. That's what I would move across the country with. And also, mind you, I had $40,000 in debt between a car loan, student loans, a couple credit cards. That eventually, too, I want to tell you that story. It got paid off in about 6 months after I moved here, which was a financial miracle that just blessed me. I'll tell you that in another video, maybe at the end of the story. So, in true Erica fashion, if I was going to do this and if I was going to make this happen, I needed to make it adventurous. So I decided that I would drive my Subaru Legacy, my baby, across the country, and that would also alleviate the stress of having to find a car when I moved out here. So as far as living arrangements and jobs, there were a couple of places. Now, mind you, I only came to California the one time, so I remember interviewing for a place that was in Simi Valley, and I was like, I don't know where that is, but sure, I'll take the interview because I wasn't familiar. But I remember working at the newspaper, and I would visualize myself. I remember looking at the map and seeing Irvine, Santa Ana, Los Angeles, and thinking oh, I can't wait to go to happy hour with my coworkers in Irvine. For some reason, I would always just see that visual in my head. Again, even though I was still in New York at the time. So I got on Craigslist and I found a place that was $400 a month to rent. It was sort of a sketchy situation, but it was cheap, and I needed cheap at the time because I had $5,000 that I was coming here to live off of. So, I'm jumping all over the place. So the house, the living arrangements, I got this place on Craigslist, had like a Skype call with the couple that was living there at the time. And the job, I ended up not having any jobs, but I was confident that once I got here, I'm like, I have a bachelor's degree, I have experience, I'll find a job eventually. When I get out there, maybe I'll hit up a recruiting agency, I'll find a job. So I left New York on September 10th, drove across the country, stopped in Chicago, Omaha, Nebraska, Denver, Colorado, a couple of places. It took 6 days, Airbnb'd all the way across. Oh, let me tell you guys a funny story about that too. So, that's not for the camera. So I got to California on the 16th of September 2016 and knocked on the door of this new place that I was crashing in, like, hi, I'm your new house guest. And I don't know, there was some confusion. I was under the impression I would be sharing a room with this girl, but turns out her mans was still there, and they had 2 crazy dogs. So I was posted up in a little corner of their living room. That didn't last long. I stayed there, I think, for about 3 months. Anyway, fast forward to 5 years later, 4 different places to live, and I finally have my own 1-bedroom, beautiful apartment that I love, and I worked hard to get here, and I can show you in my journal where I prayed on this place, and I'm really living this life that I visualized years and years ago. As far as the job, let me tell you, girl, I did not think that my first job was going to be knocking on people's doors saying, hi, would you like to buy DirecTV at AT&T? I worked at this ratchet company for 2 days and I never even got paid. But I was like, okay, you know what? It's all good. I know. I knew that it would be a struggle in the beginning when I first got out here. But I would say, 5 or 6 jobs later, again, over the course of this 5 years, I'm an office manager for a biotech pharmaceutical company, and I love my job. I'm so happy with the company that I work for, and I really love what I do. It's a fun job. It's exciting. No 2 days are the same, so I understand now that I had to go through all of those struggles. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it was very easy. I didn't just land in this apartment, landed this good job. I had to go through the difficult, what's the one I'm looking for? I had to go through the difficult seasons to get to where I'm at now. Because let me tell you, bravery is the audacity to walk with strength and hope while embracing the uncertainties. It may seem like I moved across the country 3,000 miles away from friends and family with inadequate resources, but in reality, I was lacking absolutely nothing. Because you want to know why? I'm glad you asked. Where God guides, He provides. It's as simple as that. It really is as simple as that. Period. No comma. Facts. No printer. I hope I can be a shining example of the power of faith to transform an individual to a nation, and a nation to the world. Okay, can we pause? I feel like I've been... And with that, I just want you to I hope you feel liberated from your fears, inspired to manifest the life that you deserve, and stimulated to prosper and flourish. Because my friends, you deserve all the best. You are amazing. And I just want you to take my story and be inspired to take action yourself. I don't know what else to say, but there's so much more to say. And please excuse me, I am a bit nervous, okay? Because this is my first video. This is my first time doing this. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. I'm trying to get so much out that I want to say, but for this channel, it's limitless. The things that we talk about, the conversations that we are going to have are unlimited. And I just want you to feel that this is a safe space, this is a great platform. We can have open conversations, be vulnerable, be true to ourselves, be transparent with one another. And I hope that you can take that away from this video. Stay tuned because the next video we're going to have a special guest, Erica Sierra. She's going to come on and tell her side of the story from when we first met and how this whole journey to California catapulted and we became friends, and then she introduced me to her friends, and now we're all friends and we have this amazing group of girlfriends that just love each other, support each other. It's such a blessing. It's really amazing. And I'm just excited. I know that the version of me from 5 years ago is so proud of the woman I'm becoming. And I cannot wait to see what the next 5 years bring. I can't believe it's been 5 years that I moved out here, drove my car across the country. So much has happened since then. And I'm just excited. I'm excited to continue stepping outside of my comfort zone. And that's the biggest takeaway that I hope you got from this video. As you can step outside of your comfort zone. I know we sometimes cling to the cocoon of comfort with our family and our jobs and our relationships, but I hope you find that bravery and that audacity inside of you. It's in you already. It's there. Pull it out, tap into it, step outside of your comfort zone, grow, evolve, transform. You can do it. I know you can. I believe in you because I know I was born to shine, but you were born to shine. I'll see you in the next video.